everyone, this is Jeff of TAOFLEDERMAUS. Today we'll be testing the MT round ball. It's a solid lead spherical slug weighing 1 ounce or 28 grams if you're in Canada. In an effort to try to make these round balls more accurate, I designed a special cradling support wad made out of toilet paper for these. Stay tuned.
Welcome back, TAOFLEDER folks. Jeff is behind the camera. Officer Greg here, on loan from OG's Danger Show, and today we have another round from the Goodell Shotshell Company, and one of the largest purveyors of shotgun slugs anywhere on the internet. We're shooting one today called the MT ball, not the empty ball.
MT round ball.
The MT round ball. And Jeff's going to show you a little close up here, so I won't talk about it much, but just a little round ball that's got a little toilet paper wadding behind it for some cushioning. And we're going to send it downrange through not only a smooth bore, we're going to try a couple of rounds through the rifling and see if it engages the rifling, see how accurate they are. And I think we got some surprise targets for you today, so let's get to it.
It's like a little helmet. Target is 20 yards away. Smooth bore first.
Yep.
Okay, I'm ready.
Here we go. Very light recoil. Okay.
There it is.
And doctor, there it is, right there in the carrier.
Look at that.
Look at that. The back of it squished nice and flat. Top of it, look at that, how it kind of grew in size, in diameter.
And we see something quite interesting here. The support wad did not separate from our slug, and it seemed to act like a stabilizing tail, kept it going straight. Now one may think that the wad is somehow glued or stuck to the slug, but that's not the case. The conditions were just perfect in this shot where the low pressure area behind the slug prevented that wad from separating. It's a weird thing, but it happens.
Put them on the fire?
Anywhere. I'll be happy anywhere, but if the nose.
All right. When you're ready.
Okay, I'm ready.
Wow.
See it hit the berm back there.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
In this shot, we set the plastisol gummy bear's face on fire, and that slug hit exactly where Greg was aiming. It not only put out the fire, but it also made a really cool spider web effect from that molten plastisol. Now, we did have separation of the support wad from the projectile in this shot, and the purpose of that wad is solely to prevent deformation of that ball when it's shot, because a deformed sphere is not going to be very accurate. So far, the support wad seems to be working quite well for this application.
The world's famous flaming lead plate. Tell us what you think about the flaming objects.
Why do you have to talk about its orientation, Jeff?
Okay,
right.
I'm ready.
Here we go. See if we can put out the fire. Negative. See if we can put out the fire. Negative. The fire was this way. Went high and left, California ballistics, but you can see kind of how it splattered out through the
Oh yeah,
smoke buildup. Yeah, it didn't knock out the fire either. When we came up here, the flames were still going, and little gasoline-soaked napkins were still sitting in there. So there you go, lead plate fans. There's your lead plate.
Flaming lead plate. Hopefully that makes up for not having it last week.
I guess so. I'm not sure exactly what turns you guys on about the lead plate, but there you go.
They get mad when you don't show it.
Now again, we had no wad separation on this shot, and it may be too early to say that's a detriment or if it's just a coincidence that when this happens it's not as accurate. Now I was expecting the toilet paper wads to just disintegrate.
Thanks to Sergio the Bullet Whisperer for donating that flaming boot. When you are ready.
I'm ready. Oh.
I think it hit though.
It didn't hit.
Try one more?
Yeah. Uh-oh. Hurry up.
That one hit. It knocked the tape off.
There. Oh, it made an easy.
There it goes.
Oh.
That one hit.
Oh, I made an easy.
There it goes.
Well, we had one missed shot and one shot that was a little bit high. Well, we did have wad separation on this shot, so there goes my theory about the wad throwing off the accuracy. And it's too bad because down inside that boot we had a can of shaving cream that was on fire. And eventually the pressure got so high in the can of shaving cream that it just blew up on its own. Now let's test a couple through full rifling.
Okay, I'm ready.
On the can or the gnome?
On the can.
All right, here we go.
Ah!
Oh. We hit it. There was just no explosion.
We had a little different results using full rifling. Not only did we have separation, but disintegration of that support wad. And we were quite pleased with the accuracy in this shot. Now we did have paint in the can, but apparently the propellant had leaked out. But the flaming gnome is still pretty satisfying to see. Let's see what the empty round ball will do to our East German Army helmet.
There you go.
Fire. Lift it up in the air.
There you go. Okay, what happened to the helmet?
So you remember this dent from last time?
Oh, that's not the new dent.
No, that's the old dent from the first shot that hit it, compromised the helmet. But check this out.
Oh, it went through.
Brandon was wearing this thing down over his face, right? Because he was scared of what was going to happen. That thing hit, and look at that. Just tore right through it, into his forehead. Wham!
I thought that helmet was super tough too.
And
Oh, out the back.
look at the stuffing out the back.
Oh my gosh.
If you take one thing away from this, don't run with scissors. Don't wear an East German helmet in a shotgun fight.
Gotcha.
We're here for education purposes only.
In our limited test using the fully rifled barrel, the results were pretty impressive. I was unsure we'd get any engagement with the rifling, but as you can see, we got really good spin. Now, an even bigger surprise was after shooting this helmet with a very heavy exploding slug last week, this slug actually went through it. In fact, it went through the side of the helmet, through the head, and left a dent on the other side. Now, as you can see, this week the theme was flaming targets. Let's set everything on fire and see what that looks like. Typically, the way people load a lead round ball is to use a cork wad or a hard fiber wad behind the projectile. The problem with this is they are not taking into account just how much force that soft lead ball is being put under. We can get a pretty good understanding of what's going on inside the chamber of the shotgun when we look at a golf ball being struck. And bear in mind, this is much less force than what's going on inside the shotgun with nearly 10,000 psi. The ball flattens out against the face of the club and also expands in diameter. The ball resists movement because of the mass of the ball. In fact, you can see that the ball has not even left the tee at this point. The golf ball will return to a spherical shape eventually, but the lead round ball will still have a massive flat spot on it, and that's what we want to prevent. If we can keep the lead round ball from deforming, it's going to be more accurate. Using a flat cork wad against a sphere, you can see we have very little support or contact with the ball. The first thing I had to do was come up with a way of supporting that lead ball as much as possible. The problem is nobody sells a wad that perfectly fits the contours of this kind of oddly shaped projectile. So I had to make them myself. I simply took a few sheets of toilet paper and mixed it with a little bit of water and broke it down into a pulp. I used a short section of a shotgun shell as a mold and gently packed this pulp into that. And then I just pressed the projectile into this gooey mess and squeezed out as much water as I could. I left it sitting on top of a paper towel to absorb more moisture, and overnight it will completely dry. It's very light, very rigid, and has the exact contours of our projectile. It was very easy to make. It didn't require any special tools or toxic chemicals to create this. And it's actually lighter than a cork wad. The cork wad weighs about half a gram, and our toilet paper wad weighs about 1/3 of a gram, or about 5 grains. That's very light. I used 25 grains of long shot, which is not a fast burning powder or a hot load, so velocity should have been around 1200 to 1300 feet per second. But using a wad that gave us maximum support really cut down on deformation of the projectile. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I want to thank Goodell Shotshell Co for sending these to test out. They sell just the slugs, and they have a selection of over 75 exotic slugs to choose from. Not just 12 gauge stuff, but 410, 10 gauge, 28 gauge, 20 gauge, you name it. And as always, thank you for watching the video. We'll see you next time.